Hi everyone, I just want to do a few word problems with you. Um, a ramp has an angle of elevation of 20 degrees. The top of the ramp is 1.8 meters above ground. How long is the ramp? So let's draw a picture. Here's a ramp, ground. I don't know if it's leaning against a wall or a little house. Okay, top of the ramp is 1.8 meters above ground. Okay. Here's a right angle right here. Okay, so we have a right triangle. The ramp has an angle of elevation of 20 degrees. Okay, angle of elevation is where it's rising off the ground right here. 20 degrees. How long is the ramp? I'll label it X right here. Okay, I think we can use a trig function in our calculator to figure this out. I'm given the angle 20 degrees, and it looks like the opposite side is 1.8, and hypotenuse is what I'm looking for. So opposite over hypotenuse, that is sine. So I'm going to use sine for this. I'm going to say sine of 20 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, so I'm going to cross multiply or multiply by x on both sides, whichever way you look at it. I'm going to get sine of 20 degrees times x equals 1.8. Then to solve for x, I would have to divide both sides by sine of 20. And whatever that number is, I'll get it on my calculator. But sine, x equals 1.8. I'll write it like this. Divided by sine of 20. So I will do that on my calculator. 1.8, I'm going to say what I'm typing. Divided by, open parentheses, sine 20, close parentheses, enter, and I'll round to 2 decimal places. I get 5.26. That would be meters. So that's how long the ramp is. I want to do 3 of these, so here's number 2. The distance between the top of a man's head, and I'm already going to start to draw a picture here. Top of the man's head and the top of his shadow's head. Okay, let's draw his shadow. I don't know. Good enough. Distance between the top of a man's head and the top of his shadow's head. Let's see if I can draw a dotted line or something. That's 9 feet. The angle of elevation of this line is 55 degrees, so 55. Okay, I didn't draw the straightest of lines, but that's a right triangle. Okay. How tall is the man? Okay, so I'm looking for this line right there, his height. I am not the greatest at drawing straight lines, as you can see. It has something to do with being left-handed, I think. I have opposite over hypotenuse again. just like number 1, except this time I'm given hypotenuse. But I'm going to use sine again. This time I have sine of 55 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse. And to solve for x, I will just have to times both sides by 9. So, calculator time. Sine of 55, enter, times 9, enter. That's a tall man. 7.37 feet. Not impossible. It's happened. 7.37. Should put feet on there. Okay, one more. A 20-foot ladder leans against a vertical wall. Okay, ladder. It's 20 feet long, leaning against a wall. There's the ground. The base of the ladder is 9 feet away from the wall. Base is the bottom of the ladder. What is the angle of elevation made by the floor and the ladder? Okay, here's the angle I'm looking for. I'll label it theta. I'm given the adjacent side to theta and the hypotenuse. Adjacent over hypotenuse is cosine. So I'm going to be using cosine theta. And whatever theta is, it's equal to the ratio 9/20. Well, I'm going to just change 9/20 to make it easier when I plug in my calculator to a decimal. And that is 0.45. Didn't know that, just do 9 divided by 20 on your calculator. Okay. I want to see cosine of blank equals 0.45. So I kind of need to get theta by itself. And I'll do the opposite of cosine, which is inverse cosine. So if I take inverse cosine, which we denote with a little -1, okay, inverse cosine of, squeeze it in here, inverse cosine of 0.45. We'll be left with theta. Inverse cosine on my calculator. My graphing calculator, I just press a second cosine, and it gives me inverse cosine. So second cosine 0.45 equals, again, I'll round 63.26 degrees, I'll say. 63.26 degrees. That's that angle of elevation. And that's what they were looking for. All right. Thanks for doing these word problems. When you do the word problems on your homework, be sure to draw pictures just like I did here. It'll help you a lot. Thanks, everybody.